Yeah.
Okay.
Will we look at the camera?
Yeah, well, you can do whatever you want.
Look at the camera.
Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new to my channel, welcome to Anything and Everything with Anita. That's me. Today I have a special guest, my partner in crime, my significant other, my husband, Julian.
Here I am.
Welcome, Julian.
Welcome.
Thank you for providing us with coffee today during our little interview session.
You're welcome.
He made this and it's nice and warm and ready to keep us awake.
Mine's kind of cold, but that's okay.
Yeah, because we spent a lot of time setting up the camera and the lights and making sure that everything looks great for you guys. All right, so today we're going to talk about what it's like to live with somebody with anxiety. Julian does not really have anxiety like I do. I would say he's a little bit more on the energetic side, but he's not more on the nervous side, at least not as much as me. So I wanted to take some time to shed some light from his perspective on what it's like to live with somebody who has anxiety, how to cope with somebody who has anxiety, how to be there and be a really good support system, and everything else that Julian might want to add. We'll go ahead and we'll talk about that too. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so we're just gonna jump right into it. I have my list of questions here that are on my cell phone. So if you guys see me looking down on it, that's what I'm doing. So I wanted to start off in our earlier days and discuss what it was like when we were dating, to actually meet somebody who has anxiety and, you know, be there and understand who they are as a person, get to know them. So before we begin, I just want to briefly say that we've been together for 3 years, married for 1. It's going to be 1 year married in June. Yeah. And when we first started dating, I was in a place where I felt very comfortable speaking about my anxiety and disclosing that I had anxiety to Julian really quickly. But I mean, it wasn't done in person. It was done via FaceTime because he was on vacation and I was stuck in Montreal.
Thailand.
So we discussed that, something very serious, you know, over the phone. And I mean, then when he got back, we had a little bit of, you know, up and down to try and adjust. But anyway, that's the backstory. But what I want to ask you from your perspective is, what was it like first getting to know me and realizing that I had anxiety? And yeah, how did you feel?
Well, because there have been members in my family who have had anxiety their whole lives, it didn't take much for me to adapt to you as a person.
So
now, for some people who I guess you can say don't know how to cope with others that have anxiety or never been witness to someone with anxiety, it could sometimes be troublesome for that person to fully appreciate and understand what that person is going through. But with you, it was pretty comfortable from the get-go.
Yeah.
Some of your fears, I guess, sort of weren't clear to me at the beginning until you clarified them, which I guess you'll ask or you'll tell me later on. But as a whole, it wasn't that difficult. Not for me.
So you're saying it wasn't that difficult for you because you were previously exposed to someone or others that have anxiety.
Correct.
So you know.
So I
So
understand.
it was easier for you in that regard.
I understand. I don't pass judgment. I don't think people are weak when they have anxiety. I don't think there's a mental problem with them. I just think this is something they have. Just like an alcoholic, just like somebody who does drugs, just like a moron like me who spends money for no reason. We all have our things that we deal with, and that's just another, you could say, form of issue that we deal with in day-to-day human life.
Yeah. So everybody has their different types of anxiety and the little things that make them twitch. So for me, it was at the beginning of when we first started dating, I had issues with getting in the car.
Correct.
Because I am claustrophobic, and when I get into a car with a stranger or somebody that I haven't known for very long, I have, you know, trust issues and I start to get nervous. So when you finally got back from Thailand and, you know, we were going to go out on a date and you were going to come pick me up and stuff like that, I had issues with that. I always wanted to drive and meet him somewhere instead of him pick me up, like, you know, the traditional, I'll pick you up, let's head out,
I think
have
this
supper.
was before you had told me. You just told me you had anxiety. I don't think I knew from when. I don't remember if you told me that or not.
I might have mentioned exactly what it was. I don't know. But I know that there was a moment in time where there was a learning curve where he had to learn what would kind of trigger me and learn how to be there for me and cope with all that.
Mm-hmm. And there were times, obviously, when I would just question or ask and sort of be like, well, that's strange. I mean, I understand, but I'm kind of like, okay, well, it is what it is. I mean, I can't pick up my friends and bring you in the car because there's an issue. You can't deal with that. So I accepted it. At first, for some people, it might come off as strange. Like, okay, but that's what it is. Everybody has their issues that they need to deal with. So I just accepted it. And I think it's gotten better over time.
So could you say 3 years down the line, has it really affected your life that much that you haven't been able to share car rides with me and other people?
It's been awful. I'm just going to take off now, guys. Take care. No, I'm kidding. No,
like, to what extent has my anxiety really affected your life?
It hasn't given me any despair in my life. It hasn't really changed much. There have been times where I just told my friends, I'll meet you there, and we have our reasons, and that's it.
Okay.
There hasn't been any explanation needed. No, it hasn't changed my life. Not your form of anxiety.
Yeah, not mine.
There have been times where you've been scared or you are a little bit afraid of things more than the average person, I suppose, due to your anxiety. And that's okay. I don't judge anybody because of that, especially not my wife. And that's it.
So my question, because I feel like a lot of people would want to know, in the earlier days of dating, okay, because obviously we've been together for 3 years, there's love between us, you know, when you fall in love with somebody, you'll accept them and you'll try and be there for them and support them. But before that, when we first started to get to know each other, that love, that instant love, was not established yet.
No, it wasn't, but I didn't have a problem with what you were telling me.
But what I want to know is what parts of you allowed you to be there for me and kind of grasp my anxiety.
The fact that I'm a very logical person.
Okay. So this is very personality based.
I think I'm an intelligent person. I hate to say it like that, not to sound arrogant, but
no, that's fine.
Because I'm an intelligent individual, I can grasp the concept of having something different in someone's mind, wired differently than, say, me. Just like you deal with my issues.
Yeah.
So yes, it's a personality, I guess you could say, trait that allows me to cope or deal with whatever stuff you have in your closet.
So just to set the record straight for other girls out there, or even guys that are afraid to show this or disclose this to, you know, somebody they might just start dating.
You need to make it clear.
Yeah, so I mean, my advice is to make it clear from the start. Obviously, that's a huge obstacle. It's very hard to build the confidence to do that right off the bat, especially when, you know, you're in the dating game and you're getting to know people. It's not the first thing you want to say. But just to hear it from your mouth, when I did tell you that I had anxiety, did you in any way see me as a problem or a future freak or somebody that, you know, you might not be attracted to?
No, there wasn't. I mean, at the beginning there were possibly questions that I had.
Yeah, because you were not understanding it fully.
No, I understood it fully because I have, like I said, people in my family who suffer from anxiety. So I just questioned, what is the form of anxiety you will be coping and telling. Then I was wondering what kind of anxiety this is. If it's anxiety, scared to actually leave the house and not able to ever leave your house, I would have said, look, this might pose a little bit of a problem, not to be selfish, but I'm living my own life. I can't be locked in my house. And I feel very bad for those people that do suffer that. And I am in no way denigrating those people. I'm just saying, for me as an individual with my active lifestyle, that probably wouldn't have worked.
Okay.
And I would have said, look, I have a very active lifestyle. You don't. I'm willing to be there for you. But the problem is we're going to be split up far too often. How would we make this type of relationship work?
And that's fair, because I mean, I wouldn't say people that are stuck at home with severe anxiety are really particularly looking for a relationship at that point.
Tough. But your anxiety, no, it didn't affect me in any way. And I made it very clear off the bat who I was. I told you I do things most of the time when I want to do them. If I want to go out, I'll tell you, hey, I'm going to head out, go shoot my camera.
Yeah.
And you as a person didn't have any issues with that.
Yeah.
So, granted, in turn, that made it easier for me.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so now that we've cleared that up, I have a very specific question for you. I want to know, over the years, given your experience, what would your tips be for those out there who are dating somebody with anxiety, married to somebody with anxiety, just know somebody with anxiety that, you know, they want to be there for them and they're not really entirely sure how to do that. So what are your tips for those people?
Encourage people to talk to you about the anxiety, to let it out, to let it pass. Do not tell them, don't worry about it, it's okay, don't worry. Telling people don't worry unless you really know these people, I tell you that sometimes, is problematic for people with anxiety because they don't want to hear don't worry. They want to hear, okay, how about you talk to me about it, or how it's okay, let the anxiety come and let it pass. Take a few deep breaths in and out. What can I do to assist or help you, if anything at all? And just be there to comfort the person. Do not tell them it's going to be okay and that's all you have to say. That's not going to work for somebody with anxiety. Listen to what they have to say with 2 ears. That's why God gave you 2 ears to listen twice as much and a mouth to talk half as much. I should put that into practice myself. And listen to what these people, you know, want to tell you. Listen to the communication they are trying to, you know, transmit to you. And then usually things or episodes or panic attacks will usually pass. And if it does get too severe where there isn't anything you can do as an individual, the next step is to seek help. But from a doctor, from a psychologist, from a psychiatrist. I'm not saying to drug the person. I'm saying sometimes people are so far gone that an individual, even like a husband, is not partial enough or doesn't have enough knowledge of the mind to be able to cope and help that person. Sometimes a doctor with qualifications above your level is the next best step.
So those are great tips. And I know that has been extremely helpful for me over the years to have him fully understand, not physically and mentally actually know what it feels like, but just be supportive and understand that I don't need to just hear, it's going to be fine, it's going to be okay, and, you know, it'll get better. Like, to actually be there, listen to me, listen to my anxieties, and honestly, just airing it out and speaking about it does calm me down in that situation. So the last thing I actually wanted to talk to you about, and I feel like a lot of people with anxiety have a constant concern that other people will judge them, you know, depending on their anxiety and stuff like that. And it's nice to have a partner that understands and that is there for you and that will be okay. But when it has to do with other people, like your family members, like your friends, what I want to know is, what would you suggest for others who have partners who have anxiety? What would you suggest on how to address that to your friends, you know, without fully disclosing all personal information? Or do you get what I mean?
For me, that's a tough question. The only answer I can give you is surround yourself with people or friends that you can communicate to. And when you tell these people, I don't have an answer for you, that's my wish, and this is what it is personally, and they say, no problem, Julian, or no problem, Anita, and the conversation ends there. If you don't have friends that are like that, then you have the wrong types of friends. That's my opinion. You tell your friend, I can't come in the car, I can't pick you up. It's a personal thing. Right now, I can't really talk about it. Is that okay? And he says, yeah, man. My buddy Steve would say, yeah, no problem. My cousin Adam would say, no problem.
Shout out.
Shout out to Steve and Adam, my good buddies, and Gates, of course. And they would basically say, no problem. And that's the type of friends that you have to surround yourself with. And that's it.
You would suggest the same for family members? I
would suggest the same for family members. And once again, if they can't understand that, then they don't deserve your attention, or they don't deserve to hear anything about your life. That's just what it is.
Well then, that's all really great advice. Basically,
sometimes it's good to have a spouse.
People will deal.
It's basically good to have a spouse like me who tells my wife, who gives a crap what people think. Like I've drilled that into her head over the last 3 years. Not that she cared before, but I think hearing that over and over again complemented the rock solid feeling, the aid, not giving a crap,
building the confidence. Yeah.
The world goes round. We're all going to be 6 feet in the ground one day, so it doesn't really matter at the end of the day what people think. And
thank you for coming and joining us and letting us know about this.
I'm very happy to have come in, to have left the first floor and come to the second floor to help my wife film the video.
You guys are kind of in a way exposed to my other half and what I live with and his morals and his values. And I mean, we don't think the same way all the time, but generally we get along with our views on life, and we kind of complement each other in a way where he could calm me down and I could calm him down where he's extremely excited.
Even in confinement.
So, I think we went over everything I wanted to talk about.
That's it.
Just some general tips on how to deal when you have a partner who has anxiety. So with that, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you guys have gotten this far, I really appreciate it. If you like this video, please comment down below. Don't be shy to click the subscribe button, and that'll be all. We're gonna continue drinking our coffee here and maybe get some air. What do you
Take care,
think?
guys.
Bye guys, see you in the